So welcome and thank you everyone for attending today's technical assistance webinar. This webinar is presented by Amity Foundation, acting as the third-party administrator for LA County's Justice, Care, and Opportunities Department and the CFCI Care Grants. The CFCI or Care First Community Investment grants are the result of ballot measure J, voted in by LA County residents in 2020. Care First Community Investment Funds are intended to be invested directly into communities and alternatives to incarceration that address negative outcomes caused by racially driven criminal legal system inequalities and long-term economic disinvestment. Today's webinar is being recorded. You do not have to be on camera. Understand that if you are on camera, your image may be captured in the recording. Staying on the webinar represents your consent to being recorded. So please note the following disclaimer. The material presented does not constitute legal advice and is only intended to provide information. Organizations and individuals should independently verify that any information presented is appropriate or applicable to their situation before acting on it. So, centering community. I'd like to introduce you to today's presenters. My name is Mina Cabrion, and I am the Training and Technical Assistance Coordinator for Amity Third Party Administration. Rebecca?
Hello, everybody. Welcome again. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for taking time out for yourself and practicing some self-care with a meditation webinar. My name is Rebecca Gray. I'm the Grant Administrator for Amity Third Party Administrator. Mina?
So at Amity, we incorporate teachings that center the community before we begin our work. Today, we will use the LA County Land Acknowledgement to recognize the price paid by individuals that has resulted in efforts such as Care First Community Investment. We recognize that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tujunga, Tataviam, Serrano, Kij, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants. We acknowledge that settler colonization resulted in the genocide of the first peoples. This acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of LA County.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for attending today's Introduction to Meditation webinar. We are presenting this webinar in honor of, in observance of May being Mental Health Awareness Month. Meditation is one of the modalities of mental health and self-care that has a lot of science behind it, showing how effective it is. What is meditation? Meditation offers a beautiful avenue to discover inner peace, alleviate stress, and enrich your holistic wellness. In mindfulness meditation, we train ourselves to focus on the breath, observing its rhythm and acknowledging when the mind strays from this focal point. Consistently bringing our attention back to the breath strengthens our capacity for focus and mindfulness. This ancient practice has been embraced by various cultures and traditions for centuries. Its essence lies in training the mind to achieve a state of focused attention, clarity, and inner peace. While the specific techniques and approaches to meditation may vary, the fundamental goal remains the same: to quiet the mind and connect with oneself on a deeper level. In today's fast-paced world, meditation offers a valuable opportunity to pause, reflect, and cultivate a sense of inner calm amidst the chaos of daily life. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced practitioner, exploring the art of meditation can lead to profound insights and transformative experiences. Next slide, please. What are the benefits of learning meditation? Learning meditation brings a wealth of benefits. While it is not a universal remedy, meditation can offer crucial breathing space, no pun intended, in your life. Sometimes that space alone is all we need to make better choices for ourselves, our families, and our communities. The indispensable tools for your meditation practice include patience, self-compassion, and a comfortable place to sit. Through meditation, we introduce profound and enduring benefits into our lives. Meditation enhances both physical and emotional well-being, again, backed by science, by influencing areas of the brain responsible for regulating the autonomic nervous system, which oversees functions like digestion and blood pressure, functions often impacted by chronic stress, functions which we cannot control with our conscious mind. Through its physiological effects, meditation has proven effective in countering heart disease, chronic pain, and various other conditions. Additionally, it plays a significant role in helping human beings to regulate their emotions. Next slide, please. 5 reasons to embrace meditation. 1, you can gain insight into your pain. As you focus on your breathing, when this inevitably happens, meditation is not about perfectly focusing on your breathing and never straying. It is that beautiful philosophy of keep coming back, right? Your mind settles on your breath and then it wanders away, and then gently you bring it back without self-incrimination, without blame. You bring yourself back gently to your breath over and over and over again. That is how you build your practice. 2, meditation has been scientifically proven to reduce stress levels. It literally reduces the level of cortisol in your body. 3, enhanced connectivity. When you're connected inside, it is easier for you to connect outside. 4, it can sharpen your focus. So the practice of continuing to bring your wandering mind, I've heard other practitioners call it the monkey mind, because it's just so busy, chittering and chattering and moving from vine to vine, bringing your mind back to your breath over and over, welcoming it to return to something as simple as just noticing your breath, sharpens your focus, and you can quiet your mind's chatter. Next slide, please. So there are many meditation practices. This is kind of a general introduction, and these are 2 that we're focusing on for this webinar. So again, if this is interesting to you, I highly encourage you to do some Googling and some exploration. Meditation can be silent, meditation can be guided. I've enjoyed there are apps out there that can provide kind of a musical background and can do the timing for you for your meditation. Many resources. We're looking at 2 kinds today. We're looking at mindfulness meditation, where individuals focus on a single point of reference, such as your breath. This is the one that most of us are familiar with. You focus on your breath, or you focus on the sensation of your breath coming in through your nose. Or you can focus on a mantra. This is mindfulness meditation. This practice is known to reduce distraction and rumination, making it easier to let go of negative thoughts and foster a greater appreciation for the present moment. So again, it's this really can build your muscle of, as soon as you get on the negative train in your head, there are a couple of terms I've heard applied to this. Like that internal disaster preparation that people do, or negative thinking. Once you notice that you're having those thoughts, you can gently redirect yourself in another way and really help clear your mind. The other kind of meditation that's very popular and beloved is loving kindness meditation. And there is and if you Google loving kindness meditation, you can find a 2-minute version, a 5-minute version, a 10-minute version of how to direct using words, using language, or listening to the language of another person speak through, directing your attention to feelings of goodwill, kindness, and warmth toward others. And generally, loving kindness, it will often start with, it will ask you to picture like a beloved pet or someone who it's very easy to love. And it expands as you go through the loving kindness meditation. You go through different levels of community to people you barely know, to the whole world, and then you bring it to yourself. It's a very beautiful meditation. This practice can enhance empathy and compassion while tempering reactive responses to negative thoughts. Next slide, please. How to meditate. All right, everybody has to start, right? And beginning here is easy. The practice is hard, but beginning is easy. Meditation is accessible to everyone. Meditation is both simpler and more challenging than is usually perceived. So before you begin, so the ingredients you need is a tranquil environment. Trying to find an environment which is quiet, where you won't be interrupted, that is your big challenge. That can be very difficult. But if you can find a quiet space to sit, even for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, where you can relax and really concentrate on your breath, the battle is more than half won. So you want to choose a serene spot, seek out a quiet, undisturbed space, keep distractions like your phone and or any screens, TVs, computers out of sight. Sit in a relaxed position. And for those who, you can also lie down. Lying down is fine. For those in, if mobility is an issue, getting up or down is an issue, it is not required to sit cross-legged on a floor. You really just want to get in a position where your body can be still and comfortable, whatever that looks like for you, standing, sitting, lying down. Lower your gaze and close your eyes or leave them slightly open. If you fall asleep during this time, then that is what your body needs. And again, this is not an opportunity to punish yourself for not being able to do the meditation. If what you need is a 10-minute nap, then that's what you need. But this practice of trying to keep your eyes slightly open can sometimes help with the temptation to fall asleep. I personally know people who can absolutely sleep with their eyes open, so it's not guaranteed. Whatever position you're in, you want to allow your hands to rest naturally, and you want to gently lower your chin. This position encourages relaxed breathing and directs your focus inward. Next slide, please. So here's a brief guide. Getting settled, set a time frame, direct the focus to your breathing. So for beginners, starting with a brief duration, like 5 minutes, is recommended. Don't just dive into the 20-minute deep end. If you could, even if you are unsure about 5 minutes, I would say start with 2, 5, 10 minutes, or even less. Initiate your practice with a short session. You can set a timer, or you can kind of, some people meditate through counting. So for some people, it is really relaxing to go from 1 to 2 to 60. And that's a possibility as well. If you want to so usually what I hear is the recommendation is 20 minutes twice a day, 20 minutes twice a day for the full beneficial effect. So you can gradually increase your time each day, or perhaps even each week. As you get comfortable with 2 minutes, get comfortable with 5, you can bump your time up the next week. Next slide, please. Sorry, go on and go forward one more, Nina. And go forward one more. All right. Direct your focus to breathing. So as you begin, you're in your space, your body is comfortable, you've lowered your gaze, you've lowered your chin. You are going to allow your breath to flow naturally, and you will observe each inhalation and exhalation. And I just want to make I want to make a little point here. For people with certain neurodiversity issues like ADHD, this can be very distressing. This can actually build anxiety. For many people, it's very relaxing to just relax and notice your breath coming in or out. But if you find that you're having, like for me, I notice that my core kind of tightens up as I start feeling my breath. So for me, counting is really helpful. If I do a 1 in, 2 out, 3 in, 4, for some reason, just the abstraction of a number kind of helps me let go of my body. When your mind wanders, and your mind is going to wander. So again, I think when people are nervous about meditation, often the fear is that you're not going to be able to do it right. And the whole point of meditation is there is not, it's really to find that space in between thinking about good and bad and right and wrong, and to let go of those preconceived ideas, all those things that you have been taught, and to start to just simply breathe and to let yourself breathe. So what you want to do as soon as you notice, and you can be going along on your thought train very happily during your meditation time before you notice that you're not just neutrally observing your breath or doing the neutral activity that helps you relax. So remember not to be too reactive to this. This is really an opportunity to invite your mind to come back to the task at hand. And you will do this hundreds of times, and then you will do this tens of times, and then you will do this, a handful of times. But your mind will wander, and the invitation is to just keep bringing it back. You may find it helpful to count your breaths to sustain focus. Remember, meditation centers around being present in the moment, being here now. It is normal for your mind to wander. Simply guide it back gently. With practice, you will experience the soothing effects and enhancement of your overall well-being that comes along with meditation. By attending to our breath, to our quietness, we learn to anchor ourselves intentionally in the present moment, cultivating a state of non-judgmental awareness. Next slide. Another technique is to observe your body. You can pay attention to the physical sensations accompanying each breath. And again, if this builds anxiety in you, don't do it. If this starts to make you feel, if you start to feel kind of edgy about what's happening here, you can always just go back to counting or a neutral activity. But for some people, it can be really helpful to, or as you get more practiced in meditation, helpful to notice, like at this point in my, like I know where my pinky toe is located. And I think 10 years ago, I couldn't find my pinky toes, right? With my closed eyes, I could not sense them. But now, like, checking in with each part of my body is also part of practice. You can notice the subtle movements of your body, the rise and fall of your belly or chest, or the sensation of air flowing in and out through your nose and mouth. Next slide. So remember, it is natural for your focus to drift away from your breath and toward other thoughts, that it is what your mind has been built to do. Whenever you realize that your mind has wandered, whether it's after a few seconds, a minute, or even 5 minutes, gently guide your attention back to the breath. I often address myself as sweetheart in these moments, right? Oh, sweetheart, it's like, come back to your breath. Your mind may remain active, and you might experience sensations in your body, such as weight or the intensity of certain emotions. Again, for people with trauma response, sometimes, especially the body-centered work, I'm sure there are many practitioners here. There are many, community members and service providers who have become aware of this theory that trauma lives in places in your body. And sometimes just loosening your belly can bring on a wave of emotion. You can simply, if possible, just observe this emotion. It will carry you along the current, but observe that, like, loosening my belly brings on feelings of sadness. And try to observe these things without judgment, without attaching ideas like, oh, it's good that I finally relaxed my belly, or, oh, the sadness is bad. If you can just flow with it and notice that this is what you're feeling and come back to your breath, that will gain some of the great benefits of meditation, is to be able to quietly observe. Gently redirect your focus back to the breath. Remember to bring yourself back with the next breaths after you've noticed your mind wander. Next slide. Be kind to your wandering mind. Embrace a compassionate approach toward the inevitable wandering of your thoughts during meditation. Instead of criticizing yourself for drifting away from your focus, cultivate, and it will take a cultivate an attitude of kindness and understanding. Recognize it's natural for the mind to wander, and that it doesn't reflect any inadequacy on your part. Rather than dwelling on the content of the thoughts or getting caught up in self-judgment, Gently guide your awareness back to the present moment. Something that's been helpful to me is to, when my mind wanders and I bring it back, I remember that that is the entire point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is not to do it perfectly and for my mind to never wander. The point of the exercise is that I notice that my mind has wandered and that I come back. By offering yourself this gentle guidance and acceptance, you create a nurturing environment for your meditation practice to flourish. Remember, the essence of mindfulness lies in acknowledging each moment with openness and non-judgmental awareness. Next slide, please. And finally, when you feel ready, you need to end with compassion. This can be after 2 minutes, after 5 minutes, after 20 minutes. When you feel ready, gently lift your gaze or open your eyes if they were closed. Take a moment to notice the sounds around you and check in with how your body feels. Acknowledge any thoughts or emotions that are currently present as you come back to the present moment. And that is all there is to it. That is the essence of the practice. You focus your attention, your mind may wander, you bring it back, and always aim to do this with kindness as many times as necessary. Next slide, please. So what's the perfect amount of meditation? I know people who do this twice a day for 20 minutes a day. I've within the last, when did I start a practice? It's probably 15 years ago now. But lately practice has felt a lot more like prayer, and the idea of contemplation, where spirituality kind of meets meditation, if that's a comfortable place for you, that is also meditation, just that quiet connection with, whatever spiritual realm of your child, whatever means spirituality to you. Not an entreaty, not a plea to make something change or happen, but to quietly and acceptingly connect. That's a possibility as well. The simplicity of the meditation practice can mask its true challenge. The effects of meditation are profound and supported by science. The key is to establish a daily practice, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Through this dedication, you confirm your commitment to yourself and self-care. It's not merely about embracing abstract concepts like mindfulness or compassion. It's about actively incorporating this into your daily routine. Next slide. Establishing mindfulness as a habit. Research indicates that the vast majority, around 95% of our actions, are governed by automatic processes within our brains. These processes efficiently condense the constant flow of sensory information we encounter and help us take action. However, these automatic reactions often relegate behavior to actions with no conscious awareness. Mindfulness provides us with deliberate control, enabling us to make intentional decisions and exercise self-discipline. Engaging in mindfulness consistently strengthens our deliberate brain over time. Each deliberate action we take promotes neuroplasticity and encourages the growth of new neurons in the brain's gray matter that remain unprogrammed when a person's in autopilot mode. So how can we prioritize mindfulness in our daily lives? This is where a behavior design modality, this behavior design idea plays a crucial role. That is a strategy aimed at empowering your deliberate brain. There are two primary approaches. First, you can introduce obstacles to impede the autopilot brain. And second, you can remove barriers to allow the deliberate brain to assert control. Achieving a balance that favors our intentional brain requires continual effort and dedication. Next slide. Here are some ways to get started. They may feel clunky, but you're used to, like many people are used to an alarm getting up in the morning, and that doesn't feel like an unnatural, like something we should just be able to do on our own. It is a tool to help us get started. So you can set reminders on the Library of Alexandria, the little phone, the supercomputer you carry in your pocket. You can set yourself a daily notification, set an alarm. You can assign a certain time, and no matter where you are at that time, you can find a quiet place to sit down or be present for a couple of minutes. Calendar reminders are helpful, alarms are helpful, whatever you use to help to do a task, to help you remember to do a task, you can set for your meditation practice. Next slide. And here we have a couple of additional resources. These, and again, these are very, very basic. That you can go down an endless rabbit hole for mindfulness. There are mindfulness communities that you can get involved in. Going to a place, there's something called the Self-Realization Fellowship, usually a really beautiful, peaceful, serene building. I know the couple that I'm thinking of don't have great parking, but like once you get into the space, it's non-denominational. It really is a quiet place where you can just go center yourself, a quiet, beautiful place. You can find meditation groups online and do this in a room with a leader. There are tons of guided meditations on, just pick your tool of choice, YouTube. There are many, and of course, there are now a couple of apps that have monetized all of this. They do have free versions that I've found very helpful. The two that I know of are Headspace and Calm. But here are a couple of basic resources. Again, the slides will be available and this presentation will be available on our website. And a Google search will probably do even more for you. Next slide, please. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Mina, and we're going to do a 20 minutes, people, 20-minute guided meditation.
Allow yourself to get as comfortable as you'd like, lovingly closing those beautiful eyes of yours once you're ready. Start inviting your awareness now to just become more and more present with breath and the experience of being in your body. Perhaps noticing points of contact between you and the surface on which you're resting. Feeling the pull of gravity. Letting belly be soft as you feel the breath flowing as freely as it would like to. If it feels right to you, you may invite any muscles you do not need to use right now to become heavy and slack. As you stay connected to your breathing, affirm to yourself, I am here. Breathe in deeply into a sense of your own presence right now. And as your breath returns to its natural pace, lean in to just how good tuning into your presence feels. There's something within that presence that feels as though it is everything, everything you've ever wanted or thought you needed. There is so much for you here in your own loving presence. Let yourself feel this in your body. Feel your presence. Almost all at once, it begins to feel as though there is nothing at all that you've ever needed to do or prove. You can tune into a letting go of judgment, and hurt. Choosing in this moment to simply be. enjoying your own presence. Letting it be enough for you, not for any specific reason other than it just is. And as you stay present with these beautiful feelings, let yourself take in the following messages. There will be pauses between each of them for you to simply bask in whatever feelings you receive. Enjoy your experience, letting yourself relax into a subtle and yet powerful truth. You are capable of choosing love in every moment, in the presence within you. There is an animating force within. It is made of divine love and wisdom. And you can feel it when you tap into your own presence. All that we once deemed to be logic, we recognize now as made up and invented, at least for the most part. We are free, free in our own presence. There is nothing that we need to do. There is merely that which we can do, that which we get to do. From your presence. It's subtle, it's gentle, and it's natural. Always right there, ready for you to access it. Ready for you to let it be enough for you, if only for this practice and this moment now. Continue to breathe in and out of this experience, staying in this feeling as long as you would like to. And when you are ready to exit this practice, do so by taking your time. There is nothing to rush into, for your goal in the transition back to the world around you is to stay fully connected to your own presence, while very, very slowly beginning to move your body as it wishes. And opening your eyes once you're ready. Great job today.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, so this is the question and answer slide. So if you have any questions or anything, please let us know as you're slowly opening up your eyes. I know it's difficult to come back from that, right? I don't see any questions in the chat. Some people are doing key takeaways, very relaxing.
It's nap time.
It is. But if no one has any questions, I mean, we can just wrap it up there. It is almost 3 o'clock, and I do want to be respectful and mindful of everyone's time. But thank you so much, everyone, for your time today. Does this work to lower high blood pressure? That's a question.
So there is science that shows that it does. I don't know if any of you are yet at the age where when you go to get your blood pressure taken, you do it maybe 2 or 3 times with the nurse saying each time, now take some deep breaths, because it does help the system, your body system, your autonomic system over which you don't have any conscious control. It does help regulate and relax that, and that does help your blood pressure. Science. Yeah, the doctors have me take deep breaths too.
And someone did say that they did use this to lower their blood pressure.
Yeah.
So it can be helpful. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We hope that this was helpful for you. And if it was helpful, definitely send it on to someone else. Next week, we will have our mandatory CFCI grantee webinar with our compliance team, a walkthrough on trust layer. So super exciting for that. Thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.